Now we will go over the time for a trade with you. We have three main time frames that we use with the trading bot. These are 1 minute, 3 minutes, and 5 minutes. And now we will discuss which time frame is better suited for whom, as the differences between them are small. But in reality, everything changes significantly when we trade for 1 minute, 3 minutes, and 5 minutes. Now I will show everything in more detail. The very first time frame we will consider is 3 minutes per trade. This is the safest time frame for beginners. And now I will explain why. Let's take an example. With the currency pair British pound to dollar, we will choose a trade time of 3 minutes here and wait now for a signal from the robot. I receive a buy signal. This means that the price will rise within the next 3 minutes. In principle, we can observe a good upward movement here. So let's watch this trade. And we'll also discuss why this time frame is considered the safest. Firstly, if we just take the dry statistics of the booster bot, the best statistics are exactly at 3 minutes. This is if we look at it in terms of 1 minute, 3 minutes, and 5 minutes. The second thing that helps us a lot is the entry points. For example, if on a 1 minute time frame we are very sensitive to the entry point and in principle to market impulses, this is not the case on 3 minute ease or 5 minute time frames. Here we are free and we can open trades almost whenever we want, but within a delay of up to 10 seconds. If we are talking about some financial avenues, it often happens that, for example, on a 1 minute time frame, the price makes a sharp impulse and seems to go in our direction. In 1 minute, we don't manage to get a profit, but in 3 minutes, the price grows back again, and we are not as sensitive to all these fluctuations. Another very important factor that many do not take into account is the volumes. We can see on the chart now, large volumes, medium volumes, and small volumes. They are responsible for the movement. We see how with small volumes the price barely moves, with medium volumes movement begins, and with large volumes very powerful impulses start. And precisely 3 minutes is the most optimal time for all volumes. Whether we have a large volume, a small volume, or a medium volume right now, we can confidently work with 3 minutes. So if you don't know what time to choose now, don't know what the current volumes are, it's better to play it safe and open a trade for 3 minutes. This is the safest time, and our managers specifically advise all students to use this time. By the way, yes, if you want to get a consultation from our manager or receive a strategy from them, then write to our support account stating that you want to become an elite member or that you want to get a mentor. Our available manager will respond to you and will be able to consult you and give you advice regarding your strategy and or your analysis. In general, I will leave all the links in the description. Be sure to write if you want to receive an individual consultation and analysis. We have as many as 11 managers, which is quite a lot, and they help people learn and develop every day. So 3 minutes is exactly the safest time. We don't need to use an entry point. We don't care about the current volume. Everything works perfectly on small, large, and medium volumes. And we are not so sensitive to any market fluctuations. For example, on 1 minute, later I will show a trade with 1 minute, and we will analyze there what you need to know when we work for 3 minutes, when we work for 1 minute. By the way, I'm taking the profit from this trade. As you can see, it's a very long and good movement. So there are no oddities. Here, there are no entry points. We simply receive a signal for 3 minutes and wait. The most important thing actually is to choose a currency pair that is not stagnant. Well, in principle, it's better not to choose currency pairs that have this kind of movement. So if a currency pair is stagnant, we skip it. This applies to 1 minute, 3 minutes, and 5 minutes. And now I suggest we look at a 1 minute trade and how to open it correctly. Here we choose the euro to Swiss franc currency pair. Then we go to the bot booster, select this currency pair and choose a 1 minute trade for the duration. And we wait for the signal. I receive a buy signal, I wait for a new 5-second candle and open a buy trade right on it. Yes, the best entry point will be on the new 5-second candles because there is a very high probability that, for example, we want to open a trade right now. But if we wait for a new 5-second candle, we get this kind of movement. We enter the trade here and literally the next candle makes this kind of movement. Here is an example of such movements. They don't happen often, but nevertheless they can occur and give us a very good advantage. And also on the 1 minute chart we are very sensitive to volumes, so here we must work either with a large volume or a small one. That is, here we should work with a large volume or a medium one. We can no longer work with a small volume. That would be risky. The risk is that the price might stall and the trade could close at 0 or -1 point, which would be very unpleasant for the trader. And this applies to any trader, whether a beginner or a professional. As you can see, this trade closes nicely in profit. And what is important to know about 1 minute? It's the entry point, it's the volumes that we currently have, and basically the market fluctuations. So here, I also recommend checking the financial news available, but it's possible to do without it. This doesn't happen very often, literally once a day. If anything, we share all these news in our Telegram channel, so join our Telegram channel and you'll find all these news there. In general, remember entry point and large or medium volumes. We don't use small volumes on 1 minute. On 3 minutes, we use everything. But on 1 minute, we only use large and medium. Remember that. And now let's move on to the main highlight. It's 5 minutes per trade. By the way, I also forgot to mention that on 1 minute, we use 5-second candle. For this, you need to click on chart settings, select S5 here and enable the timer here. This is very important. Do this before working on 1 minute. To work safely on 5 minutes, we need to select 30-second candles. Next, we can choose any currency pair, but I advise you to select currency pairs without large volumes, that is medium and small volumes. The smaller the volume, the calmer the movement will be. We can even choose this now based on the movement. That is a currency pair with approximately such movement, we simply skip. We look for something measured that is not in a hurry and moves calmly. For example, it could be the same dollar, Canadian dollar. Here we have a calm upward then downward movement, and let's try to analyze this currency pair. I choose the dollar, Canadian dollar, and set the trade time to 5 minutes. I receive a signal to sell. This means that we are now going to break through this level, which is below, and basically continue our downward movement. What are the pros and cons of having 5 minutes for a trade? We have all the same advantages as with 3 minutes. We are independent of the entry point. We are not as susceptible to various market upheavals and news. That is, we can also have such a movement where the price goes in the wrong direction and then makes a confident move within 5 minutes. That can also happen. For example, like now, 18 points not in my favor at all, but there's a good downward movement here, so I'm confident in this trade. But what is another big advantage of 5 minutes? It's that you can trade at any time. Yes, when we have very large volumes, it's better, of course, to reduce the trade time. But when we have small volumes, for example, in the evening or at night when the exchange is just closing, we can confidently get a signal with the bot and enter a trade. That will be very good. Well, there's also another big advantage. For example, if you're watching a series, listening to a podcast, doing your own thing, or maybe even riding public transport, you can receive a signal from our trading bot for 5 minutes and simply open your trade. You know that it will close in profit for you since the statistics for 5-minute trades are at the same level of 84%. That is, it's a very high indicator, and in any case, in the long term, you will be in a good profit. Accordingly, you can simply take your phone, activate the bot booster, receive a signal with it, open a trade, and then go about your business. You have a whole 5 minutes to do something. Even if the trade closes without you, you still go into the history and see all your results there. Just try it even with small, perhaps percentages. Test how this format works for you. I know many people use it exactly this way, and it's very convenient. You don't need to analyze the chart, even if, for example, the booster bot gives a signal in the opposite direction of our trend. If it were to give a buy signal now, I would be confident in this signal because in 5 minutes we could indeed have a reversal. And with the capabilities of the booster bot, with its artificial intelligence, it can very accurately predict where the price will be in 1 minute, 3 minutes, or 5 minutes. So this option is suitable for all people who don't want to do analysis, who have little time, but who want to earn some extra income. This is exactly for you. You don't need to do analysis, you don't need to look for entry points, just take 5 minutes and work. You can apply the same method for 3 minutes, simply when we actually have any volumes or higher. If you don't want to use the best entry points and take some risks, use 3 minutes. If you see that the volumes are small, then it's better to use 5 minutes. So this is roughly our solution. It all depends on the movement. That is, the less movement we have, the more time we need to get from point A to point B. This is something to always remember. Well, let's observe this trade. We have only 1 minute left, already 30 points in my favor, a very confident movement. And as I mentioned, the price went slightly out of the working range, not in my favor, but this needs to be accepted. It's normal. And as you can see, an excellent profit. So for 5 minutes, we can now work very safely with the booster bot. By the way, I'll also leave a link to it in the description. You just need to follow the link and simply activate this robot. Well, or ask our managers or support if you have any questions. As you can see, you can actually work on all time frames, but they differ slightly. 1 minute is a faster way to work in a volatile market. 3 minutes is the most versatile way to get into trading, and 5 minutes is almost like a passive income. You receive a signal, and for just 5 minutes you can go about your business. Be sure to write in the comments which time frame suits you best and with which you earn the most. It will be interesting to read. Also, don't forget to subscribe to this YouTube channel and give it a like. And as I mentioned earlier, comment on this video. With that, I will say goodbye to you. See you soon.